Our next speaker is Dr. Israel. He's an internal medicine specialist here in Madison. He's very passionate about healthcare, the need for healthcare reform. He actually knows something about healthcare, but he said we don't need this mess. Here's Dr. Israel.
They told me I could get pigeonholed into only healthcare. So for those of you that know me, that's not real easy for me to like to do. First thing I want to see is, I'm just curious, how many people here, and I want you to yelling and screaming and clapping, how many people, this is the first Tea Party kind of rally, this kind of thing that you've been to? So I want to hear it. How many? All right, now hopefully this one's going to be just as loud. How many people that's not the case? All right, next time it's got to be louder that way. That's the key to this. A part of what they wanted me to talk about was healthcare, and a good friend of mine who's out there, and I told him I was going to call him out and embarrass him really good with this, and that's a gentleman named Joshua Webb. For those of you that know him, Josh and I went to Washington, D.C. on the Saturday before the healthcare bill was passed in the House. They called it the Kill the Bill rally, and I tell you, it was really exciting. It was really tiring driving all the way out there and back in about 30 hours or something like that. But they had a chant that went something like this. It was, kill the bill. Kill the bill. Kill the bill. Kill the bill. One more time. Kill the bill. Kill the bill. Unfortunately, we missed that chance. So now they've got a new chant for us, and although it's not quite perfect, but it's pretty good. It's called Repeal and Replace. Can I hear that one? Repeal and replace. How about again? Repeal and replace. Repeal and replace. All right, if that's as loud as you can get, let's try it one more time. You ready? Repeal and replace. Repeal and replace. That sometimes and I'm not too good with notes, and you'll notice that. And they gave me 5 to 7 minutes, so they'll start pulling me off here soon, probably. One of the things in healthcare that's a big problem, and a lot of people realize this, is that we have all these rules and restrictions and problems and stuff. And I tell people, you know, you make a 2,000-page bill, and there's going to be something good in it, right? And I have everybody tell me they're wrong, but that's not true. The New York Times found it. Congress took away their own healthcare. They did get something right, didn't they? Of course, they're going to find a backdoor way to fix that, and we all know that. And the biggest thing, and the hard thing when you take a bill this size, I'm not going to run out of cord, I hope. The hardest thing when you take a bill this size, and did anybody out there read it? All right, then you're right up there with Congress. I got about 100 pages into it. I couldn't take it anymore. You know, it was just ridiculous. And you know, you're trying to figure out what's going to happen here and what's going to happen there. And the honest truth is that it's almost irrelevant, because we all know what they're going to do. They're going to come along with this bill, and then they're going to change it. They don't like this, they don't like that. We're going to save money by doing this. We're going to cut money by doing that. And we're going to take Medicare. How many people here are on Medicare? Now, how many people here aren't on Medicare? Now, I thought we were told that everybody that was at these things was supposedly old people on Medicare. And it looked to me like at least half the hands that went up were not on Medicare yet. Now, I got a bigger challenge, and I want to hear them yelling and screaming. I want to hear how many people here we got here that are under the age of 20.
Yeah!
Now, you know, I haven't been to a ball game in a while, but I know you guys can be louder than that. How many people we got here under the age of 20?
Yeah!
All right, you guys aren't here either. That's what we're told. Only, you know, old people on Medicare, and we got people that think we ought to, you know, if you're opposed to this, you shouldn't be on Medicare, you shouldn't have government-run things. And I'll tell you, honestly, I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat, I'm an independent. I'm personally incredibly conservative. I joke with people that I'm somewhere to the right of Pat Robertson, personally. Politically, I'm mostly libertarian. I don't think I have the right to force my views onto everybody else. And that's the biggest principle here that this government and this Congress doesn't get. They think that they can force onto us whatever thing that they want to do And it doesn't matter. The Constitution doesn't matter. The will of the people doesn't matter. You know, how many people here have met our current congressman, Mr. Hill? How many people? I'm holding back what I want to say. Mr. Hill, how many people have met our congressman, Mr. Hill? Now, let me hear you. I can't hear you. I can't see hands easy. How many people have met him? I met him on that Saturday when I was in Washington. I guess you could call it I met him. I was in his office. He did this. We need this. That was the extent of it. That was pretty much the extent of the exchange. How many people have met the gentleman, Mr. Ellsworth, who's looking to run for senator? Anybody met him? I haven't met him either. I was in his office, talked to some of his staff people. You know, these are guys that are voting for this. These are people that are wanting our votes in the next election. These are people that don't get it. They just don't get it. We need to reform health care. I absolutely agree with that. I want to hear from the people out here who don't think we need to reform health care. Silence is pretty much deafening. How many people think we do need to reform health care? Now, I just want to take a couple minutes here. Now, again, I want to hear. I like hearing people yell. It's a lot more fun when people are making noise. How many people here have a doctor right now? All right. How many of you realize that in our local medical community, that probably about a third of our doctors are in the age range where they probably physically and financially could probably retire within the next 5 to 10 years? Probably a good third of our doctors. Now, when these doctors, not locally per se, but nationwide have been surveyed, most of them, depending on whose survey you like, most of the ones that are within 5 to 10 years say they're going to retire if this thing stays in place within about 3 to 5 years. Now imagine what it's going to be like here in Madison if we lose a third of our doctors. That's going to be devastating. The red tape that we go through right now is ridiculous. I don't want to show of hands. I don't want to embarrass people on this one. But a lot of people are very familiar with the Medicaid system. We've all heard it. We talk about it. A lot of people don't realize that the people that we're going to expand Medicare, expand medical coverage, not care, we already give care. Expand coverage is going to be by basically doubling Medicaid. Now, most of us as physicians and providers, and I'm trying to be generalized, and I know I'm not going to be able to be absolutely true, most of us don't mind helping the people that really need help. And most of us understand this system. The problem with the Medicaid system is the Medicaid system, by the time I collect the money from the Medicaid system in my practice, I can pay usually my nurse, not my other nurse, just one of them, and I can pay my receptionist, and I might be able to pay part of my part of the rent that allotted for that time visit. So basically, every time a physician sees a Medicaid patient, I don't know if any of you know this, basically every time a physician sees a Medicaid patient, we pay for it. We pay for it. Because it doesn't pay our salary. It doesn't even pay the full salary of our staff. So it's not that the physicians are unwilling to provide care. It's a reality of keeping your business open. But the government doesn't get that. And I know that. We all know they don't get it. So I guess I'll move on and let them take the mic away from me here real quick. Two things. First of all, not a prop. Secondly, I want to hear you guys chant for me one more time. Let's repeal and replace. Repeal and replace. Repeal and replace. Thank you guys very much.